So today I'm going to talk about some tips and show you some exercises if you have osteoporosis. These exercises are going to be in a seated position. So it's really important to know if you have a compression fracture, it needs to be stable. So you need to check with your doctor or your healthcare provider to make sure it's okay for you to start doing stretches and exercises. Otherwise, if it's unstable, you need to hold off on that for sure. So with osteoporosis, you want to make sure that when you're doing exercises and stretches, you want to keep your spine in a neutral position. A lot of times, especially if you've had a compression fracture, people kind of end up going forward because that compression fracture ends up kind of wedging forward and people get that forward position. So it's important to try and keep your back as upright as you possibly can and hinge at your hips. So you're not bending your back, you're bending at your hips. So the first exercise is just going to be a simple sit to stand, but you want to kind of go in steps. So again, keep your back nice and straight, make sure it's in that nice neutral position. You're going to cross your arms over your chest, spread your feet out just a little bit, and then hinge at your hips as you come up. So I'm leaning forward, coming up, and then nice and slow coming back down. So make sure that you feel stable with your feet. Even if you have to go a little bit past hip width, that's fine. And then again, lean forward, come up, and then come back down, really pushing those hips back into that hinged position so you don't feel like you're bending at your back. So these can be done with reps, just doing maybe 5 or 10 at a time, or it can be done for time if you do 30 seconds and just do as many as you comfortably can in 30 seconds. So the next exercises I'm going to do in a chair with a back. So if you don't have that, if you're not sitting in a chair with a back, go ahead and hit the pause button. What you'll also need is a ball or a foam roll or a pillow or something that you're going to place behind you to kind of stretch your back. And then if you happen to have one, a resistive band. If you don't, I'll show you the exercise to do that you can do without the band. But if you happen to have a band, go ahead and hit the pause button, go grab those, and then I'm going to open up my chair here. So the reason you want a chair with a back is because you're going to take the ball, you can take a nice thick pillow if you happen to have a foam roll or a bolster. You're going to put it just kind of at your mid back, like about where the shoulder blades kind of are on that lower part, because that's going to help you get that neutral, slightly extended position. Because again, if you have osteoporosis, you're most of the time bending forward and you want to really stretch out those muscles and kind of exercise in that nice neutral position. So I have it here, again, crossing my arms across my chest and just pushing back into that stretch. So I am getting a great stretch right here, and I'm just pushing back a little bit. It doesn't have to be a full 30-second hold, but really just going to your comfort level. So if you can only just kind of be here, or even if you're still slightly forward, but you're feeling that stretch, make sure you're just going to your comfort level. With osteoporosis, you don't want to push it, you don't want to force it, almost more like an isometric exercise where you're just kind of activating those muscles, but you don't want to end up inflaming it or irritating it even more. So then if you want to keep the ball there, then you can just go into seated tees, but still having that ball to help keep you upright. Just place your arms out in front of you and then just open up like a T position. Now, when I go into that open position, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades back, really trying to almost squish the spine with those shoulder blades, activating those rhomboid muscles, because that's what helps open up our chest and helps prevent us from leaning forward when those muscles are nice and strong. So again, just opening up, nice squeeze at the end, and then coming in. You want to be at about a 90-degree angle, but if that's too much and uncomfortable, I can go a little bit lower and still get a nice, good exercise there. So again, you can go for reps or you can go for time, whichever one is more comfortable for you. And then you're just going to go into shoulder flexion. So I'm still kind of making sure my body's in that nice neutral position, that spine is in that nice neutral position, and then I'm just coming up. Now, I know that a lot of times with osteoporosis, you're not going to be able to come all the way up like this. You might be able to, but you're just, again, going to your comfort level. So if that's just right there, when I am pushing back into that ball, I'm getting an extra stretch in there. It doesn't have to be a full hold. This is more of an exercise, just a little pause up top, and then nice and slow coming back down. That's really going to help, again, get that upper body working, keeping that spine in that neutral position. So I'm getting all of that workout in there as well. You can keep the ball there for the rows, or you can take it out if you want to. So this is where you have a resistive band. If you don't have a resistive band, that's okay. You can do this exercise without the band. I'm gonna show it with the band first, and then I'll show you how to do it without it, which is just the same motion, but without the band. So again, hinge at your hips if you're gonna put the band around your feet, making sure you're not bending that back, keeping your thumbs up into that position, and then pulling. So this is the most important part. I'm rowing back like I'm rowing a boat. So I'm not doing this. That's working my bicep muscles. What I want to do is row kind of back this way. So if I'm coming up this way, I'm just working those bicep muscles. So again, it's almost like the T's where I'm squeezing those shoulder blades back, really activating those muscles, and then nice and slow coming back. Remy says hi to you guys. And then nice, slow pull, really control the band. Don't let the band control you, and then come back nice and slow. If you haven't used bands before and you're using them, they work you a lot more than you think you're working. So less is more with this. You know, again, make sure that it's okay. Your doctor's clearing you to use resistive bands and things like that. If you don't have a band, that's okay. You can still do the motion. So my thumbs are up, I'm doing this, I'm squeezing back. So it's more just like a shoulder squeeze and then coming forward. So I'm just doing the same motion without the band. It's not gonna be quite the same, but those shoulder squeezes are still really good. You're gonna get a nice workout in those rhomboid muscles, those upper back thoracic muscles, which helps keep us up this way and we're not rolling forward like that. So those are some great exercises in seated position. If you have osteoporosis, you know that it's a very debilitating thing and you have to keep up with it. You have to exercise. Getting those impact exercises is what helps make those muscles strong. Always talk with your doctor. They're going to have other things to help. And so make sure that you're talking to them and making sure these are okay for you. If you'd like to help support my channel, click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there. And remember, be safe, sleepy time, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon. Yeah!